Hello, I'm reading Evie, and I have finished The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks, and I forgot to pull up my notes, so bear with me. It's just right here. Okay, let's get started. Um, if you don't know Nicholas Sparks, The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks, it's because there was a movie that came out, which I watched right after I finished this at work. Um, is when U.S. Marine Logan T-Boat or whatever finds a photograph of a smiling young woman half buried in the dirt during his third tour of duty in Iraq. His first instinct is to toss it aside. Instead, he brings it back to the base for someone to claim, but when no one does, he finds himself always carrying the photo in his pocket. Soon, T-Boat experiences a sudden streak of luck, winning poker games and even surviving deadly combat that kills two of his closest buddies. Oh, I guess I would have known that had I read the actual plot. That was one of my notes. Anyways, only his best friend Victor seems to have an explanation for his good fortune. The photograph, his lucky charm. Back home in Colorado, T-Boat can't seem to get the photo and the woman in it out of his mind. Believing that she somehow holds the key to his destiny, he sets out on a journey across the country to find her. Never expecting the strong but vulnerable woman he encounters in Hampton, North Carolina. Who could have guessed North Carolina with Nicholas Sparks? Elizabeth, a divorced mother with a young son, to be the girl he's been waiting for his whole life. Caught off guard by the attraction he feels, T-Boat keeps the story of the photograph and his luck a secret, and he and Elizabeth embark upon a passionate and all-consuming love affair. The secret he is keeping will soon threaten to tear them apart, destroying not only their love, but their lives. But also their lives. Typical Nicholas Sparks fashion. I love him. Well, I don't like him. He's homophobic, but I like his books. But this I got from a library sale, so. Okay, Deputy Keith Clayton is a creep. He was admiring naked women's bodies in the forest and even taking photos. I said I'm about to beat him up. He was talking about Logan talking to his dog, and he was like, "My ex-wife used to do that, treat dogs as if they're people, which should have warned me." I was like, "I hate him already." And then I said, "Oh, well, so Logan is basically a stalker, as we can gather from the plot where he walks all the way to North Carolina from Colorado. Uh, Basically glorified stalker. No, I get why you did it. Um, and if you read the book, you probably got it too. You may still think he's a stalker. Yeah, I can see that. Beth was talking about how it would be nice to be married again, but there's also something about being able to stay in her pajamas all day, and if she wanted to. And I'm like, what? I have done that too while in a relationship and engaged. I'm sure Beth is the one Logan is looking for. She was. Uh, as we can see in. I didn't read the plot because I watched the movie like years ago, so I kind of remembered what it was. So I didn't really read the plot before I just started reading. Um, Ben, Beth's son, had asked her about spending the night at a friend's, and she was thinking he knew why he was asking, because he was staying at his dad's that night. I don't know anything about the custody stuff and how it works in real life, and I recognize this is a fictional book, but it definitely should be up to the kid if they're at the age where they can speak. Because in the book, he was just awful, horrible, horrible dad, horrible person. But his name is like royalty in that town. Um, and his dad was the sheriff and all that, so they had a lot of money. Oh God, Keith this Ben's dad. Um, this is why men shouldn't just be allowed to have kids whenever. He's more of a child than Ben, the 10-year-old, is. He wants to force his son to be a certain way, the sports loving type of boy. Well, he isn't, and he should accept that. But no. Danny! Sorry, dogs. Okay. And then I said, "Oh, Bill and Ricky, Logan's war buddies, died." Um, which is what I meant when I was reading the plot. Like, oh, I would have known that if I'd read the plot. Um, they're all best friends too, and who got matching tattoos, which I forgot about. Yeah, I was watching the movie and I forgot about the tattoo. It wasn't like listed in there, but you saw his tattoo in the movie. Logan was narrowing down the numbers in his head on how to best find her, and it sounded like a Criminal Minds episode, to be honest. If you've ever watched Criminal Minds and you know how Garcia works and like how she's like narrowing it down, it sounded exactly like that. Clayton is one of those men who gets pissed off when you don't believe his dumbass lies. Also, he called taking care of his kid babysitting, so there's that. I hate him. I hate him so much. He was talking about finding Logan because Logan slashed his tires for being a creep, and one of his buddies called him and said he was at a bar, but didn't say the name because he didn't know it. He said he had a picture of his ex-wife, so it was, yeah, Logan. And he was like, "Why should I care?" Just like, oh my god. Like, he was literally just thinking, I guess. We were in his head about finding Logan and all this, all that. And then someone says, "Hey, they found Logan." But yeah, Logan found Beth. Um, Evan's sad feeling Drake died. Betty's brother. Betty's brother. Oh, Beth's brother. I mean, I knew it was Beth's brother, but I don't know why that corrected it to Betty's. Oh. Anyways, but yeah, I had a sad feeling Drake died. And I've said I'm sure Victor will die. He's the one who told Logan to look for Beth because he thinks the photo is bringing him luck, as we read from the plot. um, there's definitely something seriously wrong with Clayton, as if we hadn't already figured that out. He was the reason Adam. My laptop's dying now. Uh, he was the reason Adam never called Beth back. He had stalked them, knew they had wine at dinner, and rigged his sobriety test to get Adam in trouble. I swear he can just die or something. Like I was done with him. So done. Give me 2 seconds. Plug this in so it doesn't die while I'm recording this. Okay. I so hope he gives Logan this little talk and it fails. Logan seems like a stronger man to take Clayton seriously like Adam and the others. I was right. Drake did die, sadly. Victor, Benny, Victor actually did get out too and got married, and his wife is pregnant. So I was happy about that. Beth and Logan ended up going on a date, and at the end, it tells us uh, that Victor did end up dying, but on a boat because another came at them at full speed, and it hit Victor head on and killed him instantly. I said, "How in the world did he survive Iraq to be killed in a freak accident with the baby on the way?" It was fucked up. Logan and Beth had sex and said they loved each other. So that was about time. Excuse me. Beth confronted Clayton about running off her past boyfriends, but didn't get too far, although she did fool him into thinking he took care of it perfectly. As soon as Clayton came home, Logan was there outside waiting for him and confronted him too. He was like, "First, stay away from Elizabeth." And Clayton was really like, "Who?" Logan was just like, "Your ex-wife." He was like, "Oh, you mean Beth?" I was like, "Oh my god." I was annoyed by everything he did, apparently. Clearly. The guy that had called Clayton to tell him that someone had the photo of Beth found out it was Logan and told Clayton that. I'm sure this may play out like the typical romantic book, lol, especially since it's Nicholas Sparks. And I wrote in parentheses, and that's exactly what happened. They made up quickly, at least, though. I think it was within like a day or two. I don't know. It was a couple of pages, at least. Clayton, of course, followed Beth to Logan's and then got pissed off, so he went to her house and basically was talking about raping her and sexually harassing her. Was basically insinuating it. And I mean, he said it actually. He was like, I want a kiss, and later I'll want more, but for now, a kiss is fine. And then grabbed her and then threatened to take Ben away. Ben heard that part and was like, I won't live with you. I won't. And then ran out into the storm that was happening, and had been happening for a few days now. It was almost like a hurricane kind of type. Clayton wouldn't let her follow Ben, and she snapped at him finally. Basically, was saying, like, I'm tired of your family having a hold of me or something like that. And then I said, Logan fucking died. What the fuck? Ugh, I blame Clayton for this. He is the reason Ben went out to the treehouse in the first place, and Logan was trying to save him. I wonder if Clayton died. Okay, Clayton died too. That made me feel a little better. And then I realized I read it completely wrong. Logan didn't die. I don't know if like I was just an idiot and completely misunderstood it, or if Nicholas Sparks wanted the reader to think that, or what. So if you read the book, please let me know if you also thought he was died, because it like really just made it sound like he died. Um, that was all my notes on the book. So like I said, I immediately watched the movie right after. Um, there was a couple of changes. Normally with Nicholas Sparks, I tend to like the movies a little bit better than the books. This one I kind of like the book better, but I they made Keith Clayton a little bit teensy bit better. They made him not so much of a terrible dad, just a terrible guy in general, but he was an okay dad. Um, and then because what one of the changes that they made, which kind of annoyed me because it was super unnecessary, was how in my notes I said that Ben was 10 years old, and in the movie they made him like 8 for some reason. He started out 7, then he had a birthday, and then was 8. So I don't get why they changed that. That was kind of weird. Um, none of the changes really annoyed me though, other than that. Um, they. Oh, there was a part in the book that where Keith Clayton was tossing a baseball around with the son, and the Ben doesn't like that. Like he wants to be inside or even outside playing. He just doesn't like baseball, and he figured out that he can just not catch them, and then his dad would get pissed off and throw a tantrum basically, but leave him alone pretty much. So it worked. At one point, uh, Clayton threw the ball too hard and hit him in the eye with the ball. So he comes home with this black eye. Well, in the movie, they made it to where he was at a baseball game, just a charity game that he was playing in, and he got hit. So at least it was better than the dad doing it. So in the movie, like I said, they toned Clayton down a little bit because in the movie that beginning scene where he's taking pictures of those young girls didn't happen. And however, in the movie, he drew a gun at Logan. Um, but luckily, he was drunk and pissed off. It was after they found out, after Beth found out about the photo and stuff. Um, and then Logan was out getting groceries or whatever. And then uh, Clayton is drunk and pulls a gun at him in public. But luckily, he was drunk enough to where Logan got the gun very quickly and took the bullets out and gave it to Clayton's friend or whatever. Um, so that worked out. And in the book or movie, he still died, so that was nice. Um, I only say that because he's fictional. Okay, I don't want a real person to die within limits. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. So they, like I said, they toned Keith down a lot in the books, in the movie. I mean, so that was nice. That was nice. Next, I am going to read on the tablet. Sorry, it's called What She Knew by Gilly Macmillan, I think. I'll have the video up anyway soon enough, and then I'll have the author listed for properly, hopefully. I'm pretty sure it's Macmillan. But I started that a little bit today. It was like I had like 30 minutes left of my shift after watching the movie and finishing The Lucky One. So I kind of started it, and I'm about like 2% done, I think. That's what I like about reading on the tablet was that it tells you the percentage. So that was nice. If you've read The Lucky One, let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, and share, and follow us on TikTok, Reading Evie and Etsy's Live, and go subscribe to Etsy's Live channel. And that's it. Happy cat season.